Good evening, ladies, and I'm just here tonight to offer you a word of encouragement for our Wow Worship Woman moment. My name is Danielle, and I've been talking to the Lord this week, and He's really been pressing upon me the concept of using your gift. And so we know from the biblical text that everyone has been given a gift, right? That varies from person to person. It is a gift that is unique to you and is something that's designed for the kingdom of God so that God can get the glory. So, as I was thinking about that concept, I was thinking about the difficulty some of us have in using our gift and why that occurs. For me personally, sometimes using my gift is difficult because there has been times in my life where I was constantly comparing my gifts to those gifts that I seen around me. And that really caused me to desire gifts that I wanted but not utilize the gifts that I had. And so I really wanted to bring you guys a word of encouragement to spend time with God to find out what your gift is and how it should be used in the kingdom of God so that you do not feel deficient or lacking in any way. The second thing I wanted to remind you guys of is that God is the giver of the gift, even though you're the disseminator. So keeping it to yourself is not something that is beneficial to you or the kingdom of God. So no matter what the gift is, it is designed in and of itself to be a blessing to other people. So you want to be mindful when you are in ministry or in your daily life that the gift is not for you. It's not for your own recognition. It's not for your own feel good. It is really for the kingdom of God. So it is imperative that you give it out because that is why God essentially gives it to you. Also, be mindful that your gift, because it's unique to you, is not going to look like everybody else's. Sometimes we will keep it to ourselves because the package is different than everybody else, or other people that we see. So your prophecy might not look like somebody else, or your teaching might not look like somebody else, your preaching might not look like somebody else, or your gift of helps might not come out the same way that others do. And therefore, again, we'll keep it to ourselves instead of giving it to other people. And the reality is, no matter how hard you try, you're not going to find the same thing twice because our God is unique, our God is intentional, and He's crafted us in such a way that there are no carbon copies, there are no duplicates. We are unique because God designed for us to be that way. And the last thing I wanted to remind you guys of is that essentially, whether we get it right or not, God is gracious and He's merciful, and even His giving of gifts is part of His manifold graciousness, right? And so sometimes we can get consumed over doing the right thing the right way at the right time, and this air or desire to be perfect is not of God. So this idea of being perfect on our own is just something that it traps us, it makes us feel less than, it makes us feel incomplete. And the reality is, God doesn't call us to be perfect. He calls us to be in the process of perfection through Him. And I know that's a lot of P's, but the reality is, as long as we are progressing towards Christ, we are doing what He designed us to do, or what He asked us to do. So just be mindful this week to try to spend more time with God. That, again, I've said that before, I know I have. Spending time with God and His Word and His presence and worship is how you get all of these things downloaded in your spirit. It is a lot easier to walk them out if they're already there, if you already have the plan. If you focus on God, things around you seem less daunting, seem less cumbersome. I was speaking with a young lady today, and she said, "Oh, I'm such a mess. I'm so this and I'm so that." And I said, "Listen, God can use all of that if you let Him. So as we're on this process, as you spend time with God, those imperfections that you see can be ironed out, smoothed out, worked on, and worked through, so that you can do what it is that God calls you to do. Don't lose heart. Don't lose faith. Don't give up. Keep pressing forward toward the mark that God has for you. And don't let anybody tell you that you're not worthy, that you're not good enough, that you're not doing the right thing. Keep pressing forward towards God. I just want to encourage you in that. Keep pressing towards that mark. I pray that you have a good night. I pray that your families and loved ones are safe, and continue to enjoy this Wild Woman worship movement. Continue to support. Thank you, ladies.